Lights up!
Welcome everybody to the latest episode of Lights Up, the podcast for Putney Theatre Company. And today I am joined by 4 members of the huge cast of Shakespeare in Love. 26 in total, my friend. So we have the lovely Edward Ogilvie, the fabulous Lyndall Brown, the gorgeous Charlie Warner, and the phenomenal David Miller. Welcome, my friends, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you're all part of Shakespeare in Love. For those of you who are not familiar, it is based on the film and it's adapted by Lee Hall. And I think we can all safely say it's a joyous romp. Now, Edward, you play Mr. Tilney. Who he?
Edmund Tilney is the Lord Chamberlain.
Right.
Now, to put him into context, I mean, it's a relatively small part, but my goodness, is he powerful.
Is he pompous?
He's hugely pompous, self-opinionated, but in his meetings with Her Majesty the Queen, he is extremely obsequious.
Yes.
And just...
And he has an overinflated sort of...
opinion of self.
Yes.
Totally. But... just a little bit of context. The Lord Chamberlain in those days, or Master of the Revels as he was known, had complete control over theatre and drama in England in the late 1500s, early 1600s.
So he was the one that sort of wielded the power of whether theatres could be closed down.
Totally.
And why would they be closed down, though?
That was if you tried to put a female on the public stage.
Oh, I see what's going on here,
Because in those days, females were played by boys or young men. Boys typically before their voices had broken. So, yes.
Which is basically the premise, isn't it? I think we can talk a little about plot without any major spoilers. I think everybody on the planet probably knows the plot of Romeo and Juliet. And this basically is a play within a play. So, Lyndall.
Yes.
You play one of Fenniman's heavies.
Yes.
Called?
One of his henchmen, Freeze.
And so what is your role as a heavy?
Well, that is to collect the money that is owed to Fenniman. So he's the money man. Lambert and Freeze, there are 2 henchmen. We are menacing, basically. We do lots of menacing, torturing,
fun.
Trying to get money out of people who owe money to Fenniman.
Nice, but you're not just that though, are you, my darling? No.
Much more.
We would not just have Lyndall playing one thing, don't be ridiculous. What else are you doing?
Well, I'm in the ensemble, so a variety of roles. I am a guard, I am a wench.
Oh, nice.
I get to do some singing.
I think singing captain, my darling. And also the fight coordinator.
Yes.
Because there's quite a few fight scenes which we'll come on to in a moment, because obviously the play is based on the play that the players are playing is Romeo and Juliet. So obviously you have the the fights between Mercutio and Tybalt, and also Romeo. Yep. So am I right in thinking you have had to coordinate all of those?
Yes, there's fighting, as you would expect in a Shakespeare. There are swords, daggers, hand-to-hand combat, scuffles, all sorts. So a lot going on. We've also had help from the lovely Cait, who's been helping us with stage combat as well.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Well, there's 26 people in the cast. Yeah. Now, Charlie, newcomer to Putney Theatre Company. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We are thrilled to have you here. And you play the dastardly Lord Wessex.
That's right. Really the hero of the play.
In fact, it's Lord Wessex in Love, yeah?
Yeah, it's something like that,
yeah.
Yes. That's right. The bad guy, which has been a lot of fun. He's
a stinker, isn't he?
He is a stinker. He's incredibly entitled, but he's incredibly entitled, but also has lost all of his money. So he's got that tension where he thinks he's above everyone, but also doesn't actually have his wealth, which therein then creates what he's looking for in the play. And he's seeking exactly to remake his fortune, but that needs to begin with a dowry, which requires marrying someone.
Now who is this someone?
And this someone is our heroine, Viola.
Played by the fabulous Lucy Oglesby.
That's right. That's right. Who's been amazing, and she obviously comes from a wealthy family, and her family in turn would benefit from the title that Lord Wessex brings.
But of course, this is set during Elizabethan times, so of course, women then were married off. I mean, they were property, weren't they? So, ka-ching for you, Lord
Indeed.
Wessex, because she comes with the money. What is she getting into the bargain, though?
Well, exactly. I mean, Wessex thinks she's getting a fantastic bargain because, her children will have his title. They'll get to be lords.
Well, fair play. Yeah.
And of course, he's the one who, I suppose, upholds those old-fashioned values in terms of he thinks that by marrying her, she becomes his property, she gets to be part of his family, and that's all excellent, and he gets the money. And off he goes. But things aren't quite as simple as that, because Lady Love gets involved.
Oh, indeed it does. Indeed it does. Oh, there won't be a dry eye in the house. Now, David, my darling, you play Burbage.
Yes.
Tell us about the lovely Burbage.
Well, Mr. Richard Burbage was a real character, actor-manager with the Lord Chamberlain's Men, which later became the King's Men. And so he had been a boy actor, worked up through the ranks. His father was a theatrical impresario, and then he sort of took over 2 different theatres. There are various different theatrical companies, and he's sort of a rival to some of the other companies, and there's a big rivalry between them and sort of who gets to perform the plays that have been written by Marlowe, Shakespeare, etc. So there's sort of battles for...
So a bit of a bidding war goes on.
Absolutely, yes. So the actor managers will pay for a particular script and then hope to start rehearsing that, but there's skullduggery afoot, and the scripts get stolen and moved around, and people just basically just did what they wanted, really.
Amazing. And because basically, but we start with Shakespeare. He is obviously promised a play to Henslowe, and he's also been promised a play to Burbage.
I pay him for a play, and then I think they don't quite realise that this is all of the same play that hasn't actually been written yet.
Because he's got writer's block.
Because he's got writer's block.
Yes.
Henceforth, we have the love interest that is Viola that enters. Now, we're not going to give too much away
we
because
mustn't.
we don't want to spoil the surprises. But as I said, it's a play within a play. So you have the play of Shakespeare in Love, and then within that you have the group of actors performing Romeo and Juliet,
Eventually.
or Romeo and Ethel the Pirate's Daughter.
Indeed.
Is obviously
How it starts.
the catchier title of that, yes. As the play progresses, Will's writer's block dissipates due to the fact that he's falling in love with the beautiful Viola, and we end up with Romeo and Juliet.
Very good.
With Wessex obviously trying to get in the way.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Lord Chamberlain trying to shut the theatres down because he thinks that there's females on the stage.
Shock, horror,
which he
probe.
eventually finds is actually the case, but initially he goes through a few false starts.
Exactly, and then we also have Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh, bless her.
Played
Bless her.
regally
Oh.
by Penny Wetherell.
Her Majesty.
Born for the role, I think, is what we say. I haven't even started. We've got music. There's actual live music, which, we are not a musical theatre company, but my God, we have some talented people on stage. And we're just going to embarrass him now. Charlie has the most beautiful voice. So the music, the score is original to the play, and we have been ably assisted by the wonderful Sam, who has the patience of a saint, with 26 people some who are not singers, some who obviously are singers. As singing captain, Lyndall, this is another one of your roles.
Yes, so it's lots of 4-part harmony, and so everyone's had to learn quite a lot of stuff, and as you mentioned, some people haven't done a lot of singing before, but ably assisted by all the people who have done lots of singing.
Well, it's a real team effort as well.
It is,
like
yeah.
a choir.
Exactly.
This group of 26 actors, and actually it's lovely because we're not obviously all in the same scenes, and there's some actors that you never actually get to have any stage time with at all. But it doesn't seem disparate in any way, does it? It feels a very cohesive group.
I was just going to say there, Cait, I mean, that is the wonderful thing about Putney Theatre Company, and what I love about it as a relatively new member of the company, is that we have access to such enormous amounts of talent. So it's not a case of seeing the same faces in each show after show after show. And we're so fortunate, and many of them do come back and work with us again. And we have this wonderful theatre in a converted church, and I think we're hugely blessed in this part of London.
Thank you, Edward,
You're
because
welcome.
we welcome, obviously new people like Charlie that's coming along. Now, who is keeping us all in check? It is our wonderful directors, Jodie Rylott and Barney Hartdyke. Now, David, I don't think you've been directed by either of them before, am I right?
No.
Oh, so thoughts?
So much to take on with this show. Not just the fact that there's 26 of us, but there is so much going on, as we've discussed. There's the singing, the dancing, the fighting, everything else, and to sort of be wrangling all of that and bringing it together it certainly would not be a job for one person alone, but they have they've just done it brilliantly and brought so much energy, enthusiasm to the rehearsal process, and
it's fun. Now, Charlie, you've obviously done theatre before. How does Putney compare?
I mean, it's been fantastic fun. I mean, firstly, there's like such a sense of community, obviously, here. I mean, all of you guys have done some stuff before. And then, as I mentioned, I think I've been fairly spoilt by just, what I've been involved in here, meeting so many people because it's such a big cast. As you say, I mean, the two directors, fantastic, and bouncing off each other so well. I think so much of what they have to do with such a big cast is just coordinate so many people. But then there's also been time for, character work and the really actual sort of serious pieces around it. So it's been great fun to just get stuck in and really something to sink my teeth into, really.
Well, this is the beautiful thing about the play, I think, because even though it's a large cast, that every scene, lots of things are going on. So it's, in the tavern, people aren't just standing there going, oh, I haven't got a line, so I'm just, just window dressing. So many other little stories are happening, which is just really beautiful to see that, friendships that are being made or how that's sort of carrying on from another scene. And that's just all down to the cast who have found those. Obviously, Nursey has a bit of a crush on Lord Wessex, I think we established, didn't we? Yeah.
But don't forget the set, the wonderful set that we have, which is multi-layered. It's just incredible.
I think Barney is having a few sleepless nights about it, I won't lie. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing we haven't mentioned is costumes.
Oh my God, the costumes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole separate podcast.
I can't even tell. But normally, I think anyone who's seen me in various roles on stage knows that I end up looking, like bag lady or whatever it is that I'm playing. But on this particular occasion, I've got a really fabulous costume. I'm so excited. It is amazing. And that really is down to the phenomenal work of doyen of the theatre, that is Simon Crump, and his amazing assistant, Roanne Hathaway, who is also a genius. I think some people even have 3 costumes. Is that right? How many do you have,
I've got
Charlie?
at least 2. I'm losing track of the number of doublets I've tried on of various colours and ribbonage.
David, how many have you got?
I think just the one, but it's a
But
lovely
what a one!
what a costume.
Yes, exactly. Edward,
I've just got the one, but the tights are going to be magnificent to
because it's
behold.
all proper Elizabethan style, isn't it? And how many have you got?
I've got
105?
3, but possibly more, actually.
Well, depending on
At least
it, and accessories.
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, my friends, please get your tickets. It's going to be brilliant. I'm so excited. All right, my darlings. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
After a very long rehearsal today. Bye.
Bye.
This is a real Putney Theatre Company production. Do share the podcast with your friends and take a look at our website, searching online for the Putney Theatre Company. So that's it for now. See you next time.